Gaming news today is all about the next big thing. First, Call of Duty 2025 leaks have come out, and zombie fans should be pretty excited with what we're hearing. Second, Space Marine 3 has been officially announced, which may come as a surprise, but we are going to look at the potential launch timing, as we're also having comments from them about the current game Space Marine 2 live service and what they have planned for it. Third, Xbox Copilot was announced as an ultimate gaming sidekick, and the response is a bit mixed. Also, we have further updates on the Xbox Handheld that are not landing that well with the Xbox Loyal. Fourth, an update from the Oblivion remake that's even more exciting than the update that we had yesterday. But what does this mean for Elder Scrolls 6 and the Creation Engine? And as always, I've got a game for your wish list and your radar. Now, one of the best ways to support this channel is just to make sure that you're here for the live shows. If you can't be and you're watching them later, hit like, leave a comment. That helps as well. If you want to support the channel directly with a membership, click join and be sure to pick Member Plus. It's $6. It gets you into all my extra live streams. It's basically an all-day show that you don't have to miss out on instead of just getting to watch this one show. And as always, be sure to hit the subscribe button and make sure your notification bell is set to all. Some people's got switched to like personalized. All right, first story here. Call of Duty 2025 leaks are coming in. Insider Gaming reporting the following, that, quote, Insider Gaming has learned that Call of Duty 2025 will be led by Treyarch Games, could have a total of 6 round-based zombie maps during the game's lifecycle. Details of what Call of Duty 2025 is shaping up to be is already an open secret, including the game is Black Ops 2 sequel, and the original Zombies crew is likely making a return. Now, they gave info in like 3 to 4 paragraphs. The first paragraph was, in the map's early development, it's understood that the plan for Zombies was to build the maps from the ground up to allow them to be played in different game modes, including traditional round-based, grief, and outbreak. The second thing they had to say was, it's understood that Treyarch was playing around with more out-there settings this time around, including a map set in post-World War II New York, where the Nazis had dropped a nuclear bomb, with another map being described as being set in Japanese temple at the foot of an erupting volcano. So, sounds like they're wanting to get a little bit crazy with it. A third thing that came out from this leak is that other ideas included a map set in Vietnam, one in Afghanistan, and another out there idea of one being set in space, in a space station in the dark aether. Now, lastly, they said that it was already been leaked from feedback that it's understood Call of Duty 2025 Zombies will have one of its biggest maps to date and have a similar transportation system to what was called Transit. So this is all good news for Zombies fans. If you're a fan of Call of Duty and you're looking forward to Call of Duty 2025, it sounds like they're shaping up to do a lot with the Zombies, which that's not surprising if Treyarch is at the helm. Now, another big announcement, and well, this isn't even a leak, this is an actual announcement. They announced Space Marine 3, which seemed to kind of come out of nowhere. They just were recently talking about their plans and their content for Space Marine 2, and this is what they had to say. Focus Entertainment from Insider Gaming here, they had the story. Focus Entertainment has announced Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 3 is officially in development. The game will once again be developed by Saber Interactive, and here's how they announced it. They said, your duty is not done. We're pleased to announce that the development for Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 3 has officially begun. Now, you might wonder what that means for Space Marine 2 and the future content planned for that game, as they have regularly updated the games and they've got new things and cosmetics and all sorts of stuff for you to do. Here's what they had to say about that. They said, we have been honored by the incredible response from fans following the launch of Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. We will continue to support the game with exciting content and regular updates in the coming years. Today, we are thrilled to announce that the adventure will continue with Space Marine 3. So it sounds like they plan to support and add to Space Marine 2 all the way up to Space Marine 3, which obviously begs the question, what kind of a launch window are we looking at here? Space Marine 2 was announced in December of 2021, and it released roughly 3 years later. Given the scope and size of the campaign and their ability to add content, I could see Space Marine 3 taking a very similar amount of time. A lot of the legwork is already done. You've got assets, models, animations. Space Marine 2 looks phenomenal. It's a very, very fun and good-looking game. So the next 3 years could be enough time for them to get it out. I don't think it would be less than that, right? I don't know if they could get it out in like 2 to 2.5. That seems like that'd be too fast. My guess is early 2028 release date would be the absolute earliest that Space Marine 3 could show up. Now, in the other realm of big things, or the next big thing, there is stuff coming out of Xbox. The first thing in the Xbox news, Satya Nadella took to Twitter to announce Xbox Copilot as the ultimate gaming sidekick, and here's what he had to say about it. Here's what they said, on the Xbox Wire blog post. They said, "This AI-driven sidekick is designed to be your personalized gaming companion, helping you get to your favorite games faster, coaching you to improve your skills, and connecting you better with your friends and communities." This was written by Jeff Rubenstein, the director of Xbox editorial. He said, "Copilot for gaming will be there when you need it, but out of the way if you don't." So how does something like this work? Well, they give an example. They say, in the game, the player picked up some wood and they entered a prompt asking, "Okay, I've got some wood. What do I do with that?" Copilot for Gaming answered by explaining how to turn the oak into logs into wooden planks. So essentially, this is a way to get back into a game or get a little bit of assistance in a game. And I'm going to be honest, this is great for somebody like me, right? Sometimes I take a break from a game and I come back and I don't know how anything works. I forget, right? Sometimes I just want some clarity. I'm like, wait, should I do this, or how does this exactly work? A good case in point, an example of this. Last night I was playing Death Stranding and I wanted to know if allowing another person to deliver the package for me, was that a live player or was it going to be like an NPC type of thing? Now Google and my Discord answered me. But having something like that right there in the console would be pretty great. You know, hey, could I get a brief description for how this works? Sometimes games have the tutorials and all of the information inside the game, but then you got to go poking around and find it. So you could say, very quickly, explain to me how this mechanic works, and something like this could do that for you instead of having to go look. Sometimes you did the tutorial 4 weeks ago and you can't quite remember how something worked. Now, I'm sure some are going to see this as a negative thing, but as they said, you don't have to use it if you don't want to. Then we have more details from Windows Central. They had the Xbox handheld. They kind of broke it. Here's some of the bullet point details about the Xbox handheld that is slated for this year. The price point will be between $499 and $599. It will run Windows, Steam, and Epic Game Store. It cannot run your Xbox library, only Play Anywhere and Cloud Gaming. It's manufactured by Asus. They will reveal it this summer and release it later in 2025. Now, the price really isn't a surprise, but a continued negative response is the inability to play your Xbox library. I think that's totally understandable. This will basically be an Asus ROG Ally with an Xbox logo on it, and many are not sure exactly who this is for. But somebody in chat yesterday, I thought, made a great point. They said, well, Xbox is a more recognizable brand than something like an Asus or a Steam Deck to the average consumer. And that could certainly help. But many are looking at Xbox with a bit of a side eye these days when it comes to hardware after all their changes on exclusives and saying that basically everything is an Xbox, or pushing home the idea that you don't actually need an Xbox, right? So I think some people aren't necessarily thinking that the Xbox brand, when it comes to hardware, is all that strong in the market anymore. So this handheld is going to be a bit of a question mark until it's finally out. Now, exciting news for Xbox fans or fans of Oblivion. The Oblivion remake is even closer than folks thought. Nate the Hate updated his own tweet yesterday and said the following: a quick update on the Elder Scrolls Oblivion announcement and release timing. As plans stand, both the release and reveal are targeting next month, April. The gap between the reveal and release will be minimal. A shadow drop is possible. And then Andy Robinson from VGC seemed to agree with this by retweeting it and putting a checkmark emoji. So he might have been indicating that he actually knows something. So it looks like 2025 is once again having another big landing. I mean, there's just so many games that have been coming out, and that's not all. This game just got announced yesterday, and I always like to put a game on your wish list and your radar. And so if you are a fan of this game, you will be pleased to know that Power Wash Simulator 2 has been announced. It is coming to Xbox Series consoles, PS5, and PC, and this time it's coming with split screen co-op. Now, the game was only announced for 2025, so right now they do not have a release window for the year, just that it is coming this year. It can be wishlisted on all platforms. You can wishlist it on Xbox Series consoles, the PS5. It can also be wishlisted on Steam as well. And so if you're looking for this game and you want to get kind of reminded if there's any updates, if there's any trailers or anything like that, so, be sure to relist it. So that's the news. And now it's time for the discussion. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's Friday, and Fridays are a little strange for us because we do a lot of different things on Friday. So you want to make sure you're subscribed to the channel. You want to make sure you got your bell button checked to all. And you want to make sure that your membership is set to Member Plus, so you don't miss out on all of the extra content. We will be playing Death Stranding today. We're wanting to do that every once in a while when games get a little bit of a resurgence and re-interest. So Death Stranding gameplay this afternoon in 2025. I'll be playing more Split Fiction with Hilly. And then this evening, if you guys hit the goal, there'll be an evening stream with Madam. And if you hit stretch, you can make me play Death Stranding even earlier, which based on where we are right now with turnout today, I may just do that anyway. Is there a thing where Nintendo used to have it where it beats the level by showing you how to do that? I don't remember that. I don't know if Copilot is going to beat the game for you. Make sure you guys going through that ritual. We usually already have 100 likes by the end of the show open, and we don't have that yet, so get us the first 100 likes. Can it wash my car? I don't know. Probably not. There will likely be games like that in the future, though, where you could like take a picture of your car and it'll like scan it, and then your car could be literally in the game. Or, I mean, they could just partner with car manufacturers and you could just like load up the car that you have. Yo, and a first gifted member of the day, Han shot first, and so did you. Thank you so much. Mike on the mic is going to get the member count started this morning. And thank you so much for that. I'm not really sure what's going on. We had a really, really great morning coffee, but the number of people that were over here waiting was lower than normal. I don't know if it's the game news cycle slowing down or what, but we've got a full day for you. We go from this to gameplay to Hilly, and then we'll break, and then we do the evening stream as well. Joker gifted in the open. Oh, he did. Joker Quinn, I'm sorry. Han shot first, and so did you. That's right. Joker Quinn typically is the first one to do that. I saw that during the show open out of the corner of my eye. My bad. And thank you for the $5 super chat from Mike on the mic. He says, good morning, y'all. I forgot to set the super chat goal. Let us do that. I will gift a member. And then I am going to go back here. And I forgot to do something with that morning coffee. There we go. A $2 super chat. Alex says, gotcha, Joker. Yeah, guys, thank you for reminding me about that. Space Marine 3 got greenlit and work started the week that Space Marine 2 set records for the company. I mean, that kind of makes sense. You know? It kind of makes sense. Kojima cooked with Death Stranding 2. Konami cooked with Silent Hill F. What a timeline. Yeah, I didn't put Silent Hill F in the show. I didn't have time to really... I wasn't going to like be able to write anything about it that quickly. I had to grab the Call of Duty leak and like quickly throw it in the monologue this morning. That was why morning coffee was a little bit late. And a 5-bomb from Alex, the first 5-bomb of the day. If we start slamming the like button, if we start doing those gifteds, it can turn the day around. This is like one of the slowest starts we've ever had, and I don't know if it's YouTube. I don't know what's been going on. We were fiddling with some things, and it seemed to fix. It seemed like our live streams weren't showing up on people's homepages, and it seems like we are once again on the backside of YouTube's favor right now, and I'm not sure why. Games Workshop sure loves money. Alex starting off strong. Death Stranding 2 is coming out way earlier than I expected. Very happy it has an opportunity to shine. Yeah, Kojima Production seems to work at an almost otherworldly pace. It does seem, given the size and scope of the game, that is bizarre that they were able to make it as fast as they did, but they do seem to be quick. I mean, actually, wait, Death Stranding came out, what year? Was it 2020 or 19? I think it was 19, wasn't it? Yeah, it was 19, so that's actually not that fast. For some, you know why it feels fast? The director's cut feels like the timeline, is different. But yeah, 6 years ago that's actually a really good development timeline. That's not actually that fast. I was thinking it was like 4 years or something like that, but that's not actually true. Because when did the director's cut come out? I feel like that was that 21? Director's cut, release date. The director's cut hit PC in 2022. It hit PlayStation in 2021. I think that's what's throwing me off. is the director's cut isn't the release date. That's just when, when I got it and started paying attention to it, because I wasn't interested in it originally. Back when it originally came out in 2019, I was like, yeah, I wouldn't like that at all. That was back when I was playing Destiny full time. So, how long will Death Stranding 2 come out for Xbox? Oh, I have no idea. I mean, if they follow the pattern like they did last time, it'll be like a year and then PC and then like a year and then maybe Xbox or something like that. Probably pretty staggered. Decima's really, really good at optimization, so even as ambitious as Death Stranding 2 looks, they'll probably be able to get it to run and optimize it down for weaker PCs, as well as the Series S, because the reports are that Death Stranding 1 actually runs quite well on the Series S, which kind of isn't surprising. There was that one report where they got it running on like a gaming laptop with DLSS, and it looked really, really good. Kojima has the Death Stranding IP now, so it could be quicker. Well, they're publishing it, though. I would imagine with PlayStation publishing it, they wouldn't enter into that agreement lightly. Him owning the IP still probably comes with some strings attached to the fact that PlayStation's publishing the game. Like, when they're footing that bill, I would think that comes with some... That's coming with some strings. I mean, they're going to want that to be at least a year, I would think. At least a year. And again, if they go a year and then it goes to PC, again, it might go to PC before it goes to Xbox. Depends on the contract. You're saying what I'm saying. We're not disagreeing. Yes, it depends on the contract. But what I'm saying is that PlayStation would be unlikely they would foot the bill for a game. It's Decima's engine. They basically sold him the rights back. I mean, that's another part of the equation you've got to consider. They basically publish and own Death Stranding 1, and then they sell him back the rights to the game. I would think they're on pretty good footing that they would be able to say, listen, we would like this to be at least a 1-year exclusive. A 6-month exclusive. I mean, it does come out in the middle of the year, so a 6-month exclusive would at least get you into 2026. So they could at least claim all of 2025 for it. But I still think with the way PlayStation operates and the way they handled it last time, I would assume they would want a very similar deal. That they would want a good chunk of time where it's only on their platform. And the other thing to consider is Kojima is working on a lot of other stuff. He's got the OD project with Xbox. He's got Physint with PlayStation. And so, porting the game to PC and Xbox may not be like this front burner, we got to do this right now issue for him. I'm left wondering about Mafia and the Outer Worlds. Summer seems to be like the perfect slot for them. Mafia: The Old Country is slated for summer. I don't know if the Outer Worlds 2 has indicated anything other than 2025. But Mafia: The Old Country's trailer said summer. So we don't know. That could be... when does summer end? Like sometime in August or something? So, I mean, that could be fairly... far, but I think they're all trying to get their games out before the summer is over because everybody's worried about GTA 6. GTA 6 in the fall is just this giant looming thing of like, what in the world? If you land close to it, you're in deep doo-doo. I mean, it wouldn't even surprise me that when they announce their release date, games will move. I think games will just 100% move right out of the way. I don't think they'll stay put if there's concern about that. Technically September. Right. So I mean, if the summer goes all the way to September, I don't know. I don't know. It could be anything. I'm not done with Mafia 2 Remaster. It's low-key a buggy mess, but the story is great. I've actually never played a Mafia game. I've never played a Bully, and I've never played a Mafia. There's a handful of those games that just never didn't really appeal to me. Did I miss the Space Marine 3 news? It really isn't that much other than they said they're going to make... They're making it. Like, production has begun. But they also said that over the next couple of years, Space Marine 2 will still get updates and new content. Because I think that was a concern. People were like, well, if you're moving on to build Space Marine 2, then, I'm sorry, if you're moving on to build Space Marine 3, what's going to happen to Space Marine 2? Yeah, I don't know. They've not given the specifics, but they did say they're going to continue working on it. So I would imagine they still have a pretty lengthy roadmap left for Space Marine 2, and they'll keep doing what they've been doing. Now, they did do an interview recently where they said they didn't want to become a full live service game, and they were pushing back on the notion of, like, I guess they had gotten some negative feedback on the some items or something that went away, like the things that you couldn't get. I'm not sure what was going on, but yeah, it was negatively reacted to by the community, and they were like, well, we're not going to become a full live service game. And they weren't saying that they're not a live service game. I think that they were saying is, we're not going to start dealing in FOMO. We're not going to start dealing in, like, stuff that, like, comes in and goes away. So they were making things available, like, for everybody later, even if you miss the event. Look at that shirt. Yeah, dude, I got out the classic today, Gauntlet. Yo, what's good, Mr. Chosen? I played Mafia 1 and 2 and 3. It has no teleport like the other two. I hope Mafia the Old Country brings that back. You would have to explain to me what that is. I don't know what that is. Isn't Marathon supposed to come out this year? No. They've not said that. I don't know. They've not said that anywhere. I think they said that they wanted to... Oh, you might be thinking of the one article where there were Bungie employees that were fearful. They were just trying to get the game out before 2026 so that they could get their final amortized payment in 2026 and then basically leave. There's like basically an internal fear at the company that there's going to be this like mass exodus once that final amortized payment comes through, and they were going to try then to ship Marathon before that happens. Like, they want to make sure and get that out the door. So it feels like there's some concern there that like Marathon will be rushed. But I don't think there was ever like an official release date window set anywhere. The Marathon microtransactions popped up on Steam. I thought it was pre-order bonuses that popped up on Steam. If there was ever a year to be into gaming, this is the... Yeah, this year is so full. I mean, even this morning in the news, in the open, the Oblivion remake is apparently coming next month, and the announcement time compared to release time is going to be like really short. It could even be a shadow drop, according to Nate the Hate. They said Q1 2025. Who said that? I don't remember seeing that anywhere. I'm going to check pricing on Metroid Dread and Twilight Princess HD, but I think my reunification with Nintendo is going to last about 6 weeks max. Curious when we'll get Switch 2 news. The Switch 2 Direct is it's next month. Switch 2 Direct. I can't remember. Is it the 11th? No, it's the 2nd. Yeah, so we're going to have an actual Nintendo Direct in 2.5 weeks. Yeah, April the 2nd. For Space Marine 2, it was a community event tied to using a pros account. The tracking was busted, even taking days to update or not at all. The event just gave the armor early, luckily. Okay, yeah, so everybody ended up getting it. Guys, make sure and push that like button. We can turn this stream around. I don't know what happened. The starting numbers were terrible, and YouTube's been acting very weird this week. We were streaming in a green room, and it told everybody that my stream was over. And I was like, I was still streaming, so I'm not really sure what was going on. So smash the likes. If we get to 200 likes, that will significantly help. We do have a goal running today for the stream tonight with Madam and I. And then a stretch will be to force me. We're going to play Death Stranding again, not again, but we're going to play Death Stranding for you this afternoon as well as this evening. And we're going to play that with Madam's commentary. New Mario Kart coming. With the Switch 2 for sure. With Lego doing a line of Mario Kart and then a new big adult set. They just announced Mario Kart 9 is definitely coming soon. I mean, I don't think we even needed the Lego set, Anthony. They basically passively announced a new Mario Kart when they in the Switch commercial. The Switch 2 commercial had a new Mario Kart in it. I don't think the Lego set's not really even needed. Does that make sense? Like, you remember the Switch 2 announcement trailer. I mean, that's a brand new Mario Kart right there. They're going to show us the new 3D Mario, or are they going to show off Mario Kart? It will be Mario Kart 8 plus Deluxe bonus. That's right. Oh, fast travel. Yeah, I don't know. The Mafia of the Old Country doesn't look like the kind of game that's going to have non-modern amenities in it, but it also depends on game design. Will you even need to fast travel? Like, it depends on how they set it up. We don't know if it's going to have, you know, those kind of big, long, wide open spaces where you would feel the need to fast travel. They haven't revealed any details. I would imagine, though, most of the times now, if a game doesn't have fast travel, it's for very specific reasons. Like, you can't fast travel in Death Stranding, but that would completely break the gameplay loop, right? That would completely break the gameplay loop. Where's Lono Kart 9 at? It's still in development. Yeah. I like how Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 does fast travel. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, you can get attacked along the way. I'm not super big on that. Sometimes you just want to get to the next thing or get to the next town. Sometimes you need to get back to town, right? I think they like the realism, though. They want to be like, listen, you overstayed your welcome in the woods, and if you have to go back to go back to town now to heal up and rest up, you might get attacked along the way. Even if you fast travel, it's a bit of a dice roll. Metroid 4 looks to take the Zelda route and be a cross-gen title, hopefully to see performance. Yeah, I believe that my theory on the Switch 2 launch titles has been that the Metroid game will be the cross-gen, and then the Mario Kart will be a Switch 2 exclusive. That's what I think they're gonna do. I think they're gonna do, Metroid is the cross-gen, and then that Mario Kart game will be an exclusive. I think they want people to buy. They're not gonna want people to be able to sit on the fence and be like, oh, I can still play the games on my Switch. They're gonna have to push people. Wait, so is Lego Mario Kart exclusive to the Switch? Or is Nintendo now a third-party publisher, since apparently Lego games are... No, it's a Lego set, Corey. It's a Lego set. What he was saying is the Mario Kart Lego set is like, oh, we're definitely getting a new Mario Kart. We don't really need to theorize. They showed us a new Mario Kart in the announcement trailer. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, we don't need to read tea leaves or look for hints or leaks. Nintendo already announced a new Mario Kart. Like, it's literally in the Switch 2 trailer that announced the Nintendo Direct. 2 heavy hitters, boom, instant success. If you let people stay put for too long, like if you don't do anything to move them, I think you're gonna be hard pressed to get 150 million people to move. To get 150 million people to move, I don't know. That's... If they can just buy the next Mario Kart, if they can just buy the next Metroid, they're not going to move. But why would you? Because you have to think about something. If you are one of the 150 million people on Switch, a lot of those people don't give a rip about graphics and performance. So you're not going to be like, oh, but it's going to look and run better on the Switch too. You'll get some people with that, but I would imagine the vast majority are just going to stay put and be like, well, why would I buy the Switch 2? I can play the new Mario Kart. I can play the new Metroid. And a 10 bomb comes in from Cactuar King, and he's like, come on, boys, let's move the member count. We're having a slow day. I'm not sure why. I'm looking on the back end. I think it's YouTube. Like, the impression count's freaking terrible. They're doing something weird, and the live stream just doesn't go out and go anywhere, and I don't know why. I don't know if we're doing something wrong. I don't know if YouTube is continuing to fiddle with things. They added a new feature. When I take a break, I can do like an overlay or something. So they could be once again fiddling with live streams, but the impression count's terrible. I mean, it's like it's not even putting the video in front of the sub base. I'm not sure what's going on. Playing Death Stranding tonight. My offer is still on. If we hit this, that's what we're doing tonight. Yes, Charles. Yes. Yep. That is what we're doing. So we'll probably hit that. The stretch goal today, You can make me play Death Stranding like right away. We'll like end the talk show and I'll play Death Stranding if we hit the 600 stretch. But the 500 is just for tonight. We're going to play Death Stranding and like Madam's going to commentate because she thinks the game, it'll be entertaining, believe me. Because like I'm enjoying the game, but I think her non-gamer view of things I think will be entertaining to say the least. So you guys will definitely want to be here for that. Mario and Metroid doesn't flip 150 million. Well, it's not that they won't flip. It's that Metroid's cross. We know that Metroid's going to be a cross-gen game because they've already announced it for Switch 1. They already put out the trailer. They're not going to be able to like walk that back. You know what I'm saying? Was wondering what your game of the year for 2022 was, 2023 and 2024. Oh man, you're making me really stretch here. Last year my favorite game was Stellar Blade. The year before that it would have been Spider-Man 2. The year before that it would have been Ragnarok, and then the year before that it would have been Returnal. Yeah. This man's very eager to walk a little bit more. Yeah, and maybe a little bit of climbing. Returnal would have been 2021. Yeah, Returnal would have been 2021, but that was my game of the year. Returnal is still, I think, my favorite game this gen. See, you are a pony. Well, throughout those years, there wasn't much to pick from the other side. Sorry. There wasn't much to pick from. You know, and what there was to pick from, what wasn't at the quality that I expect from games these days. You know, a game at 30 FPS on a next gen console. Don't expect me to pick that. You know, no. I know. Returnal's so good, and the others. Yeah. Returnal is still like my favorite. It's still like one of my favorite games this gen. It's just so satisfying, so creative. Listing good games above Redfall. How dare you, sir? That's right. Yeah. I should have just picked all the worst games. Last year my favorite was definitely Concord. Year before that was definitely Redfall. Year before that was the day before. You know, just pick the worst possible games ever that have come out. You know, just the game of the year was the one that didn't even last for 2 weeks. That was my favorite. Yeah, Halo Infinite. Stop. Halo Infinite. Halo's campaign was, you know, fine according to everybody. But we had a lot of fun with the multiplayer. We did a lot of community game nights. We did a lot of custom games. It was great. We had a lot of fun with it. They just couldn't. They could not get that game on the rails on the train tracks. Yeah. Gollum was fun. Yeah, that's right. No one's talking about the Berserker standalone from DNF Duel. Are you talking about Kazan? That comes out on like the 27th or whatever. I played the beta and then I played the demo again recently. I liked it. I wish I had a little bit more control over the settings. I don't know if that's going to be different at launch. Like, is that PS5 Pro enhanced? I feel like it is. Let me double check here. Yeah, it's PS5 Pro enhanced. I don't think that the beta is, though. When I went to the beta in the store to download it, or I'm sorry, not the beta, the demo, the PS5 Pro enhanced tag disappeared when I went to the beta to the demo. Sorry, so I'm hoping for more like settings and more control over it on the Pro, because it's a beautiful game, but I want to make sure that I'm not, because I think there's like a motion blur in the demo that I can't turn off. That I don't like. It makes the game kind of have like it's blurry. It looks blurry. I don't like it. I don't like motion blur. Guys, really quickly, if you haven't done so already, man, hit that like count. I don't know what YouTube's doing today. I refuse to believe that Call of Duty and Space Marine 3 are too boring to get people in here. It's an impression problem. we've been having some issues lately with a live stream just not getting put in front of people. I don't know what's going on. So if you struggled to find the stream today or I wasn't on your homepage, that's a really good reason to always make sure you check your sub tab on YouTube, because I go live Monday through Friday, so don't rely on that homepage. It's unreliable. YouTube has been tinkering with some stuff. And sometimes we got to put these streams on our back, and you gotta smash like and go crazy and chat a bunch, and then all of a sudden YouTube pays attention to the video. 2 nights ago, Sony made Lost Soul Aside available for pre-order on PSN. Forgot to hit like. That's the problem. Yes, it's all your fault, Brett. Yeah, we need 20 more likes, and if you guys would quickly do that, that would be an amazing thing. It would really help us here. Jeff Keighley is prepared to replace Pope. I don't even get that joke. Valve could be about to release a Steam OS for any device, says leaker. Steam OS could be coming to desktop soon. Okay. Steam OS. That could mean we're getting closer to that that console that we heard they want to release. And a 5-bomb from Sneaky Wolf. Thank you so much. All the people getting those memberships, man, congratulations. I owe you guys 5, and I'm going to do it right now. Let's see if we can't get a little bit momentum. We haven't had a day like this in I don't even know how long. The last time we had a day like this, I think, was when there were all those outages, and like there was all kinds of problems with the platform. So I think there's definitely something happening on the platform today. Swordman Cart, there you go. There's the 5 members that I owe you guys. Doom Collector's Edition, or whatever it's called, for $200 is sold out on PlayStation. Probably been a while. Notice when you were getting your controller. Yeah, I got the Doom Collector's Edition. Kazan didn't grab me. I'm going with my gut. I'll pick it up later, hopefully, on a deep sale. And CrossFit Nerd is going to keep the 5-bomb train going. He's joining in with me and Sneaky Wolf and gets us to 32. Thank you so much. 432 members on the week. Notifications are playing up on my end. What do you mean they're playing up? What does that phrase mean? Broken Lobo, how far did you play in Kazan? Because once you start getting some of the other weapons, it really starts to take a different shape. There's a lot of different ways of playing. I had to go to your page to find Morning Coffee. Morning Coffee had the usual turnout. It had about 250 people, but then I came over here and there was like 5 people waiting, and I was like, what? Usually when I come over to the stream before it starts, there's 20 or 30, sometimes 40 people waiting. I was like, 5? I was like, what is happening? That usually means that it just didn't ping people. It didn't like throw the stream out. I tell you what it was. We've been scheduling the stream and letting it sit for longer, and I didn't do that today. I wonder if we need to start scheduling farther in advance, because 150 people waiting? No. Those were all from Morning Coffee. We had less people waiting than we had in Morning Coffee, Jaster. It was super weird. I came back down from checking on my family, and we had like 150 people waiting. I was like, I just had 250 people in Morning Coffee. Like, where did everybody go? I think the platform's acting up. Roadkill Gifts, a member. Thank you so much. Paying it forward and renewing your member, but that's a member light, Roadkill. You're at 2 years. I can't count it. You got to upgrade. Is the upgrade button there? A lot of people now have an upgrade button on their iPhone and their Androids. I got the notification right when you went live this morning. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I think, again, see, there was a time where if you would schedule the stream really far in advance, it would be very punishing, because it would get a bunch of like bad impressions, because it was getting impressions and there was nothing to watch. I wonder if that has changed. I wonder if all week long what I've been doing is I forgot to schedule, so I would schedule it for like 10:30. So the scheduled stream would sit for longer. This morning, I scheduled it 9:24 for 10. So it was only scheduled for about 30 minutes. So I wonder if we need to start just scheduling further in advance and see if that doesn't help. It just, maybe that allows it a little bit more time to get sort of like grabbed by YouTube's machine, and then it knows, oh, this is what he's talking about, this is what's in the title, and then it throws it out there. Maybe I just didn't schedule it far enough in advance or something. McShawn Williams with 4 months says, I saw Death Stranding 2 trailer and it got me interested. The only thing I never played the first game because I was skeptical. Well, you're in luck, McShawn. Thank you for renewing your membership. Guys, if your membership is at a membership light, you want to be at a membership plus, though, if you want to count towards the goal and you want to get into the green room. That's a segment we do every day that's available to paying members only. And member light is basically the gifted member. So you're in luck. I will be playing Death Stranding 1 today to show people sort of like why the game has hooked me. I've turned the corner. I'm 7 hours in. I had 4 hours kind of already banked from back in the day when I played it for the stream. In the first 4 hours, it takes a while to get going. So now I've got like 3 new hours, kind of picking up where I left off. And it clicked. Yes, it clicked. And so we're going to be playing that today. We did that with Returnal. There was suddenly a resurgence of interest in Returnal, and I did a Returnal in 2025 stream. So we're going to be doing a Death Stranding in 2025 stream today. And I'm going to do my best to explain to you guys why I almost never give this advice. No, not almost never. I don't think I've ever given this advice before about a game. I usually say, if you don't like a game within the first hour or two, it's probably not for you. You can't really do that with Death Stranding, unfortunately. You genuinely have to get pretty far in the game before it sort of breathes. It's a very dense and very front-heavy game. I mean, very. Thank you guys for over 200 likes. Come on, we can turn this day around. Let's go. Let's get it. If you guys get to 500, we're streaming Death Stranding tonight as well with Madam. She's going to watch me play it, and I'm sure make fun of me the whole time, so you don't want to miss that. You can even make me play it earlier today if you hit stretch goals. So if some of the big boys come in, you guys might be able to pull that off. I'm down to watch it later. I kind of fell off with the first game. So when I played Returnal for everybody, I played it as I would consider myself to be not an expert, but a very proficient Returnal player. Like, I know how the systems work, I know the strategies, blah, blah, blah. So I was able to make the Returnal stream almost like a, here's how to get into Returnal. Today is going to be more like, I did not like this game and now I do, so here's what you should try to do if you're going to give it a shot. It's going to be more of a tutorial on how to enjoy it, or maybe how to get back into it, something like that. The starting section is killer, but so necessary. Yeah. You're very dense and very forehead heavy. It's just kind of out of nowhere, very rude, Zubair. I've always thought Death Stranding looked absolutely amazing. It takes 2 hours just to start playing. There's a lot of cutscenes in the beginning, and they're lengthy, and I think that also turns people off. They're like, wow, talk about a movie game, right? I mean, talk about a movie game. It's literally a movie in the beginning. It's like lengthy sections. I'm always extremely scared when I'm getting ready to be done with the play session that like a cutscene's going to start and then I'm going to be like, well, now what do I do? Can I pause it and quit? And will it, and if I do that, will I miss the cutscene? Because like sometimes I'm literally got to be done. I'm like, it's time to go to dinner. I can't sit here and watch a 20-minute cutscene. I gotta go upstairs. So I've still yet to play Death Stranding myself. Had it on the backlog for a couple years already. Thought he was talking about Norman. Huh? Oh, like Norman Reedus, the character? You said the game was very dense and front heavy. Lag killed the timing. It wasn't lag that killed the timing. I just didn't read it right away. I read it late. I got it. Just felt kind of out of nowhere. Like, don't you say that about Death Stranding. This is exactly the vid I need about the game. Well, this afternoon's Death Stranding stream will not be members only. The stream this evening with Madam when I play, that will be members only. That's a great reason to become a member. A $5 super chat tip from Patrick McManus, my favorite gaming channel. Happy Friday. Thank you so much, Patrick. I appreciate it so much. Death Stranding is Kojima's Cyberpunk? I don't understand what you mean by that. I was going to go with your mom is dense and front heavy, but I figured that was a little too far. No, that's actually funnier. A streamer man can absolutely ruin the insult timing. I'm sorry I ruined the timing of your insult. You know, I'll be better. I'll be better about helping your insults be more effective. I saw it on PS Plus. I'm definitely playing all weekend. It's supposed to rain till Monday. Oh, that's perfect. To be playing Death Stranding while it's raining outside. Oh, that's perfect. I still need to get back into Death Stranding. I forgot why I stopped playing. I might restart. That's funny. Somebody else said that. It might have been Ashen. They basically were like, I went crazy in the beginning and I was building stuff, you know, and doing all sorts of stuff. And then they just stopped playing. And they're like, I don't know why. I just stopped playing. That's like, you're like the third or fourth person I've heard say that they stopped playing Death Stranding and they weren't even sure why. They couldn't remember why they stopped playing. And I'm like, it's probably because if it doesn't hook you, there's nothing memorable about it. It's one of those games where you're just kind of like, okay, next thing, okay, next thing. It does a lot of so there's this thing that games do when there's a lot of systems that need to be explained to you, and you feel like the game's doing a lot of talking at you. It's just talking at you. Here's how you do this. Here's how you can do that. Go over here and open up this terminal. And you're like, enough is enough. Well, what happens then, it's not really memorable because you're just sort of being taught. Does that make sense? So if you don't get out of that teaching phase of the game, and the game kind of starts to breathe, and you start doing things without needing to be told, right? You start turning things in without needing to be told, or you start updating things without needing to be told. Now all of a sudden you're like, oh, now. But if you don't get to that point, there's nothing memorable about a game saying, open up this menu, click on this, hold down X, click on that. It's like, you're not going to really remember that. It's just teaching you. You know? I did the same. You really, hey, Sir Lightstorm upgrades to VIP. That counts as 2 and gets us to 435. Guys, upgrades are one of the fastest ways to hit the goal. So many of you, listen, I'm not going to call anybody out. I'm not. But I went back here on the back end last night, and I was curious about something. I was just looking at the member count, and I saw just rows and rows of member light, member light, member light, member light, member light, okay? And then I saw 20 months, 18 months, 27 months, 21 months, 23 months, 31 months. Like, so many of you have been on that gifted tier. Some of you guys 1, 2, and 3 years, all right? You guys, if you can, you've got to step up and make room for others. You really, really do. There's a lot of people here that are trying to get a gifted, and they can't afford it. And some of y'all are on 2 and 3 years. If you can't afford it, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people that can. That's a long time. That is a long time. 23 months of Member Plus and 23 months of Member Plus from Awesemo and Top Reply. Thank you guys so much. When I see rows and rows of people on 2 and 3 years on gifted, you guys have got to step up and make room for others, man. If you can't afford it, that's who I'm thinking about. There are people in here right now that can't afford a membership, and you're taking a seat. And I don't think all of you have to. You got to make room for the other folks that are here. That's just crazy. And a little greedy, just saying, of course, if you can't afford it, we get it. But if you can, that's kind of, well, it's like the generosity of this community is a double-edged sword. It's amazing that I'm gifting all the time. Y'all are gifting all the time. But it also empowers people to sit on a gifted for 2 and 3 years. And it's like, if you need it, I'm thrilled that you've gotten that generosity gifted to you for 2 to 3 years. I'm thrilled. It was a long list. I was like, holy crap. Because I saw gold and red badges just like all the way down. And I'm like, man, I hope all y'all are being blessed by this, and not taking up a seat that you don't need to take. I unlocked blood grenades and started riding the motorcycle around. I need to go back to it. Yeah, I got the blood grenades. I don't have the motorcycle yet. So we're all in this together. That's right. We're all in this together, man. We got folks in chat that have been gray names for weeks trying to get a membership. You know what I'm saying? Death Stranding's got good music and graphics. It does. It does. It's a strong game. It is. And a 10 bomb from Sir Lightstorm. See, this is what I'm talking about. This guy's committed. He jumps up to VIP, and then he gifts 10 members. That's what I'm talking about. That's what you want to see. And we want to see those memberships going to people that need it. Please don't take the gifted if you don't need it, all right? If you need it, I want you to get it. I'm talking to two groups of people here, right? There are folks here that need that gifted. Please don't take it from them if you don't need it. It's $6 a month, man. It's a cup of coffee to make room for somebody else. There's a lot of folks here that are in between jobs, falling on hard times, all right? Site news, an update about the Pure Xbox YouTube channel. The Pure Xbox YouTube channel is shutting down. Caxuar King with the 5 bomb. And that gets us to 52. So I owe some members now. We've been trying to get my brother a membership. We've been trying to get Feed a membership. I think we finally got Jason F. It's really hard to get people a membership when there's folks grabbing a membership for their 3rd year. Does that make sense? You hear what I'm saying, y'all? We're trying to get like Feed back in here. Feed's never been able to get his own membership, you know? Derek's not been able to get his either. Is Pure Xbox like a fan site? All right, there's the 5 that I owe. Let's see here. It's also a website. Are they just shutting down the YouTube channel? Let's see. A few years back in late 2022, the Pure Xbox channel was sprung into life by our dear friend and ridiculously talented video producer Craig Reed, and he's done a wonderful job building up the channel by almost 30,000 subscribers as a result of his efforts. He produced some extremely popular, very highly quality content, including ranked 100,000 views each. Sadly, though, amidst an industry that's facing plenty of changes right now, the decision has been made to finish up with Pure Xbox YouTube channel. This means Craig will no longer be working with the team at Pure Xbox, but the staff remain in close contact with him, and we are certain that he'll go on to do great things in the future. So are they doing this because he can no longer do it? It doesn't affect their website. Okay. I've always found their website, like in their articles, to be great. I've never watched any of their videos. And RPG gifts a member. Thank you so much for gifting one. And that gets us to 453. And $2. I'm on iOS, and so I've not been able to upgrade. There's an upgrade button there now. Make sure your app is up to date. You go to my channel, slide over to memberships, and there should be an upgrade button. And a 20 bomb comes in from Yo Die, and then a single from Mock Y, and that gets us to 73, and then 83. A 10 bomb comes in from Chris Carey. Do you see what I'm talking about? This is exactly why. That's 31 members in the blink of an eye, and that is 484. This is exactly why. This community is so generous. It is so generous. Listen, I know 100% when I say that, it can get completely misunderstood. So when I'm calling on you guys to pick up your own membership, it is 100% addressed to the folks that can do it. Because I want this generosity landing on the people that need it. That is incredible. That's 31 members in the blink of an eye. And a 50 bomb from Rissick takes us all the way up from 484 to 534. And you guys are on your way to ending this stream early today. I said the stretch goal, you're going to make me play Death Stranding. Today would be the day to do it. The turnout's just been insanely weird. I don't know what's going on. This would be an amazing time to just end the stream early and go to Death Stranding. I said stretch goal, we end early. So there you go. Freeman. Charles Freeman. There it is. We've secured tonight. He was asking. He's like, are you going to be playing Death Stranding tonight? And I was like, well, we are now. There it is. And JC gifts a member. There it is. Y'all got to understand, I'm taking up for two groups of people when I do that call to pick up your own membership. I'm taking up for the people that gift, and I'm taking up for the people that need it. These folks are incredibly generous. Don't take advantage of it. And a 5 bomb from Dylan comes in and takes it to 540. We're 10 away from another milestone of 550. I owe Alex with a 10 bomb as well. No, that's it. That's 550. That's 551. 551. Alex gets us to 550. Sorry, I was supposed to be 540, but I prophetically knew that Alex was going to drop a bomb on the chat. Did we get Derek? Did we get Feed? Have we seriously not gotten them yet? Yeah, Rissik's bomb was still going until a couple seconds ago. So yeah, don't ever misconstrue that. I don't bang on this drum too often. I say, hey, upgrade, hey, we got extra content. But buddy, when I go to my membership page and I'm seeing 2 and 3 years and everybody's on a gift, and I'm like, man, some of y'all need to make some room for others. Like, come on now. No Derek and no Feed. Dadgummit. I owe... Where were we a second ago? I owe a 20 bomb. Yo, I missed my VIP and my old badge, but here we are again 2 years. Thank you, Toasted Notes, for jumping back in. See, that's the other thing, too. Toasted Notes is on 24 months, but he's not been on the tier as long, right? Some people have to downgrade or ride the gifted because they fall on hard times. That's exactly why I'm telling some of y'all to make room for your homies here. And Rich Rod with a single gets us to 552. There it is. I really wish Rissik would get around to paying for his own membership. I'm late. I didn't get the stream notification. Yeah, Hollow, something weird's going on today. The impression count on this stream is terrible. I'm like, I literally could tell something was wrong. I was like, I don't know what's going on. I really, really don't. This is sounding an awful lot like socialism. 2 spot from Die. I also just upgraded to VIP Plus. Well, that counts as 2. Thank you for upgrading to VIP Plus, and that gets us to 554. I currently owe a 20 bomb of memberships, so I'm just going to do that right now. Let's see if we can't get Feed and Derek in here. I'm a part of this as much as y'all. I'm gifted memberships as well. And a 5 bomb comes in from Sir Lightning Storm. This guy didn't just upgrade. He's continuing to push that number higher. Okay, so he got... Who did he get? He got... No, I'm looking for Derek and I'm looking for Feed. I really, really want them, especially Derek. I'd love for him to be able to come and watch the Death Stranding stream tonight with Madam. You guys are now 41 members away from ending this stream early and sending us to a Death Stranding gameplay stream. And a single gifted comes in from Josh Reinhardt. Thank you so much. And gets us to 560. And if you guys are trying to upgrade, I know a lot of you, listen, I'm not trying to scold y'all. I know a lot of you have tried, and the apps make it ridiculously hard, okay? If you upgrade the YouTube app on the iPhone and the Android, there should be an upgrade button there now. It's starting to show up for some people. You go to my channel, slide over to the membership tab, and there's an upgrade button there. If it's not there for you yet, it is getting rolled out. Kevin George says, I got one. Feed and Derek must be close now. Yeah, see, Kevin George has a red badge, but Kevin George has not been on a gifted that entire time, I don't think. I think some of y'all have had to back away, and that's why the gifteds are falling on you, which is exactly how it should work. My vid had to buffer for a second, and I just had, and sending us to death? Oh, and Quintar says, let's do it. Let's have a record-breaking day of ending the stream early with gifted members, and he takes us to 570. Thank you so much, Quintar. So much generosity in this community, man. It's unbelievable how many members are here. It's just, the chat's like almost always all green because of how generous everybody is. To be fair, I upgraded my app yesterday and the button wasn't there. I had to do it via browser on my phone instead. Sometimes, Furious Pickle, those updates get shoved out regionally. So, like, some people just won't have it. And Die with a 20 bomb! Die puts us 10 away. Holy mackerel. That is the fastest we've... Oh, my. That's almost too fast. It's gonna be it's fine. The viewership is just so not what it should be for a typical day for us. It's probably fine to go to gameplay. It really is. We're 10 away. I probably should just schedule it now. Holy frick. We've never done that as an incentive. We've never done that. You know, everybody always wants gameplay. Maybe that's what I'll start doing. Like, y'all want gameplay, and there it is. Pathalon Phoenix with a 10 bomb and Raijin with the 5 bomb. You guys are crazy. And Kardak Ren with the 10 bomb. That's 25 out of nowhere. And we are now at 6:15. I don't know what the next thing could be. You guys are going to have to think of something. I got it. Stretch goal tonight. I have to let Madam play. We will like set a timer or something. Like I can only play for so long, and then we have to let Madam take over. And make her do it. Make her. Confirm Vince Wilson fixed will be the main villain in Spider-Man. Is that right? Well, no one's told me. Yeah, he's shooting down the rumor right there. Can we have a real convo real quick about this anti-consumer people? No, the games from Sony aren't on Xbox, but keep using Xbox, and then they say Sony's anti-consumer. Does that not make sense? It doesn't make sense. And a 5 bomb from You Know Yo Die says, set up for the home run. Thank you for the $5 Super Chat tip. And a single comes in from West Dirty Really Plays Games. And a 10 bomb comes in from Quintar. We are still going. We are now at 6:26. The member train has not stopped. It is not stopped. You can play Death Stranding, but only with real guns, no stuns. No. I think letting Madam play would be hilarious. Let Mrs. play Death Stranding, but have Sam have to wear his sandals. See how pissed she gets. And a 10 super chat from Alex. He says, upgrade people. I promise it's worth it. Yes, thank you guys so much for being here. And yes, we really are calling on people to upgrade their memberships. It's a huge call to the channel. This is why we're able to do what we do. This is a full-time daily stream. I'm a full-time content creator, and it's because I have a community that supports it. We would never be able to do this if it was just off of like the ad revenue. Like YouTubers typically live off of ad revenue, and that is not a fun place to be. You guys make this very possible, and it is greatly appreciated. And we're 2 away from Confetto. Right, so Brooklyn, yeah, so I put that video out there. It's probably getting all kinds of heat because people hate the notion. Yeah, it already has 4,000 views, so that's not surprising. It's getting shared a lot. The Moment Death Stranding hooks you has 33,000 views, so that's exciting to see. That video is doing very well. So I got to schedule the Death Stranding stream. What if we just did a ping pong match? People would start fighting. If you want to keep the stream going, hit this goal, and then you can fight and be like, no, we want the stream to end. We want them to play gameplay, and you basically just keep hitting the ball back and forth. I wouldn't do that. I don't think that's fair. Alex with the $5 super chat. Unless we made those terms ahead of time, I would feel like that's not right. You know, I could say ahead of time you guys could do that. Doing that now would feel like a rug pull, and I'm not going to do it. A $5 super chat from Alex says, off topic, I would love to watch you and John Campea make a passionate, friendly debate about Star Wars. His favorite movies of all time is Star Wars. Oh, yeah, he's really nice, too. When we were doing repeat theater, he stopped by. John Campea stopped by one of our streams and talked in chat for a little bit. That was a long time ago. We had a channel called Repeat Theater, and the concept of the channel was to rewatch shows and movies and talk about them. I thought it was a really cool concept, but I think you would need to launch that. Like, if you were already like a really big YouTuber that covered TVs and movies, you could probably launch that project. Kind of like how Matty Plays launched his retro channel, but I wasn't known for that. So like, it just didn't go anywhere. It was super hard to get any viewership or to any traction because like we didn't have pull in that field. We didn't really have pull in gaming on YouTube at that point. We were pretty small. We still are. I still consider us to be pretty small. So, kind of like Mystery Science Theater. No, not in a mockery kind of a way. It was called Repeat Theater. It was basically meant to be like a community-driven thing. Like, hey guys, up this week, make sure and go watch this movie or this show or whatever, and then we would talk about it. It was meant to be almost like a movie or TV show book club. And Super Gaming with the $5 super chat makes Confetto. I owe a member, and that's 627. I haven't even been able to schedule the stream because you guys just keep doing stuff. And a 20 bomb comes in from MASH to 647. Unbelievable. And then the 647 is going to become a 652 because a 5 bomb comes in from Super Gaming. So we've got the 20 bomb from MASH. And then the 5 bomb from Super Gaming. Super Gaming doesn't just do Confetto. he does a bomb as well. And then a $5 super chat from Mach Y Ninja says, oh, I can't get out of this screen. How do I leave the gifted screen? I'm going to do my membership that I owe you guys. I owe a single right now. I owe more than that. Once we get in a stretch, I always lose track. Mach Y says, you still can't upgrade on iOS. Membership link doesn't offer an upgrade. Even went through Google and went to your site and still couldn't. I don't know why they've made it so difficult to upgrade. I really, really don't. I don't know why. It's like, won't be able to talk today. You're fine, Mash. I appreciate the support, man. You're a dadgum madman. This community is insane. Like, we're basically going to leave this stream early because people want a Death Stranding. They want a Death Stranding stream. So let me schedule it. Use Safari, that's what I do. Oh, but back to your question, Brooklyn, the whole like exclusives or anti-consumer thing. Somebody made the observation, that everybody always goes, when it comes to Nintendo, they're like, oh, well, Nintendo is Nintendo. And it's like, okay, well, my comeback's going to start being, well, PlayStation is PlayStation, right? Like, it's like, if Xbox wants to become a publisher, that doesn't suddenly make, multiplats a valiant thing. You're not a hero. This isn't some mythical tale of, gaming needed to be saved from anti-consumer practices. It's stupid. It's so, as I said in my video that's up on Twitter, it's just a bankrupt ideology. It doesn't work. The number of people that immediately jumped on that tweet and they're like, oh, so you just want to have to buy all the platforms? That's anti-consumer. And I'm like, so what you're basically saying is, and this is what it always comes down to, they're asking the platforms and the developers to spend more money so they don't have to. It's just whiny entitlement. You just sound like a bunch of babies. You're like, well, I don't want to have to buy another console, so the company should take on all of the work and all of the difficulty and all the research and development. They should hire more people. They should work with other studios. They should do parallel development. They should have enough people, working there so the game can be built for, the Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation and the Xbox as well as the computer. And it's just like, so you want them to spend more money so you don't have to spend any. Okay, got it. So you're just an entitled baby. You're not a consumer. You're just an entitled child. You don't want to spend more money so that you then expect the companies to spend more money. The reason I find it frustrating is you're only saying this because your favorite brand changed. You're only saying this because your favorite brand's messiah is telling you to say it. It's like, blow the dog whistle, demonize exclusives, got it, boom, and then they all go and do it. What's insane to me is how much of a bullseye I shot on this. I told you guys last year, you remember it, Phil Spencer said, I don't know who's helped by Helldivers 2 not being on Xbox, or however he phrased it. And I told y'all, I said, this is what they're going to do next. They're going to demonize exclusives. They're going to act like exclusives are bad and they're anti-consumer. And here we are. That's the message now. The message is now that exclusives are bad and, multiplat's better. And again, in my clip on Twitter, I said, just do a thought experiment. Imagine you have a smaller studio and they have like a $20 million budget, and you're basically saying to those people, if they only build their game for Steam, they're being anti-consumer. Like, I want the people, I want the ideologues, the podcasters, the pundits, the writers, I want all of them to make sure and get self-righteous and scold every single AA company, every single indie company that builds their game for Steam only. I want you to go get self-righteous and tell them they're being anti-consumer. Oh, wait, you're only doing that in the rubble of a console war that you lost. You're only saying it towards PlayStation. You won't say it towards Nintendo. You won't say it towards all the AA studios and all the indie studios who only build their games from Steam. You'll only say it for PlayStation. Why? Because you're suspect. You're not saying it in good faith. You're not saying it because you even believe it. You're saying it in the rubble of a console war that you lost, like some dying death rattle to make it seem like PlayStation's doing something wrong. And it is just pathetic. You're not consistent. You won't say it consistently. You won't hold the line on this. You won't say it across the board. You won't apply it universally. You will only say it when it comes to PlayStation because you don't believe it. That's the facts. They don't believe it. If they did, you'd see them scolding every AA, every indie studio when they announce their game only coming to Steam. I better see all of the Bleed Green podcasts complaining about that. I better see all of the AstroTurfers complaining about that. You better jump on those tweets. You better retweet them. You better call them out. Tell them they're being anti-consumer. Oh, wait. You only do it when it comes to PlayStation. Gee. I wonder why. You're not consistent because the position's in bad faith. The position is astroturfing. It's marketing for Xbox. There are hundreds of games a month that hit Steam and just Steam. Where's all the rage about Nintendo? There's zero consistency. The beauty of being okay with exclusives is that I can be consistent. I can say, look, there's a lot of value in exclusives. There is. You can look at Death's Door. It sold 100,000 copies its launch week on Steam, and that empowered the developers to bring their game to other platforms. Look at Baldur's Gate 3. They spent years in early access only on PC, and it helped the game's quality. And then you look at PlayStation games. PlayStation games are designed for the PlayStation first. They come out at an award-winning quality, and then they're ported later by Nixxes. And with the exception of like Spider-Man 2 and then The Last of Us, there have been a very consistent level of quality from their ports on PC. So I can be consistent and I can say, yeah, exclusives have their place. I think that they're good. I think that they add to better quality. And what you're going to do is you're only going to say it when it's a chance to take a shot at Sony. You won't say it about the AA's and the indies that only put their games on Steam, and you won't say it about Nintendo. Because it's not a good faith position. It isn't. I've been calling it an ideology, like, oh, it comes from a belief. It doesn't even come from a belief. It comes from the mouth of Phil Spencer, which makes it worse. I'd have more respect for an ideology and a deep-seated belief about how it's not fair. I'd rather talk to an entitled consumer who has like this deep-seated belief, because at least they're like basing it off of their own preferences and their own view. But if you've been out here defending exclusives and celebrating exclusives, and then all of a sudden it's a problem, it's very unique instances. It's only a problem when PlayStation does it. It's not a problem when anybody else does it. So to me, the conversation is just going to continue to, I think, look more and more, topsy-turvy, because you're just going to continue to see both PlayStation and Nintendo execute these strategies. You're going to see plenty of AA and indie studios execute on these strategies of building for one platform. You're going to consistently see it. And let's just add one little last thing to this teetering house of cards of bad faith argumentation about exclusives are bad. Let's just add one more thing. There have been countless interviews with developers where they have said building for one platform helps us. It helps us innovate. It helps us optimize. It helps the product come to market quicker. Why don't you stop speaking to the devs and start talking to the devs? You could try that. Instead of being like, oh, yes, Phil, we agree, Phil, yes, Phil. All studios want as many people playing their game as possible. You're right, Phil. Multiplats are better. Exclusives are bad. Yes, Phil. Thank you, Phil. Like, get the frick out of here. I never complained that World of Warcraft or any other PC game was only on PC. I just said I have to go PC if I want to play it. That's what I'm talking about. Please ignore what the devs themselves say. What do they know about the devs? All right. I didn't want to just immediately like pull the e-brake. I've got the gameplay stream scheduled. I think I owe... I don't even know what I owe at this point. I think what I'll do is I'll drop a 20 bomb when we get to the next stream. And then I've got to get the I've got to get the Derringer because Charles Freeman said to, and I got to make sure it can be here for tonight so that we can have a celebration stream tonight. My bad for distracting the convo. I saw that tweet and joined. I mean, it's just to me, this isn't like me. Like, I don't want to go back on what I said yesterday. Like, I don't want to get angry at, like, people and get into, like, boxing matches on Twitter about this. But I will 100% get up on my pulpit and preach and pound that podium on this subject. I will go full guns on fire on this, and I won't hold back, right? I'm trying to avoid saying things like, you know, oh, you're a buffoon, you're a liar, you're whatever. I'm trying to stick to, like, this is bad faith. You're not being consistent. I'm trying to approach it more like that. Like, my criticism of it is that you're not being consistent. I want to see you be consistent. If you really believe this, right? I want to see evidence, and I don't see that evidence. I see a very, very cherry-picked, you know, a very, very cherry-picked time to execute on the criticism. You rewound, you like the rant. Yeah, I'm sure it'll get. I'm sure I'm actually going to use it. I'm going to use it. I'm going to put that on Twitter. I'm going to put that on Twitter. That was a good one. Call it the shills and grifters. No, I don't even want to use labels anymore, bitrate. I don't want to be like shills and grifters. That's why I said the podcasters, the YouTubers, the pundits, the personalities, I want to see consistency. I'm not going to call you a shill and a grifter or a tabloid. I'm not going to do that. We're not into the name calling. No. I'm talking about the argumentation. I'm talking about the position. The position and the argumentation is completely separate from them. This position, this argumentation, it is not consistent. It isn't. It isn't. I don't need to call you a name. The argument is the problem. We don't know what's behind it, okay? We don't know. We don't know. There could be all sorts of motivations behind it. There could be, we know in the gaming industry, there's a problem with access journalism. We know this, okay? We know that is a problem. Okay, but there's no reason to constantly get into that and accuse people of that. Somebody could just be like, you know what? I like this team. I like cheering for this team. I'm going to keep cheering for this team. I'm not going to get into this like, let's call out the motivation. I would much rather call out the argumentation. Like, let's take the labels, shove them to the side. Let's take the presumed motivation, shove it to the side. Shove it to the side. This is my official retraction of insinuating that the people that interviewed Phil Spencer went on later to promote talking points to maintain access. I'm officially retracting that. I have no idea what's behind it, okay? So this is my official retraction to Paris Lily. If it felt like I was insinuating something or going too far, that's fair. That's fine. I don't know your heart. I don't know your mind. That's an overstatement on my part. I don't know. People do that to me. It's not fair for me to do it to you. This is my official retraction of that. All I will say is then your position on it doesn't seem consistent, and then you're welcome to defend your position. You don't need to defend your character or your integrity. I'm not attacking that. I'm saying that the position doesn't seem consistent, and open invitation to have a conversation about that, to try to make it consistent, to try to make us understand. I'm completely fine to admit when I've overstepped, and I went too far in that. I'm okay to say that. I feel like I went too far, but I don't think I'm going too far by saying, like, I don't think this position's good faith and consistent. It seems like it's come out of nowhere. It's come out of nowhere. We weren't talking like this just 3 and 4 years ago. So, and if I have to clip that and put it out there later, I'll tag him and let him know, and I'll DM him and say, look, I'm retracting that. That wasn't fair for me to say that. I'm observing the positions have changed. I don't know why. I don't know your heart, so I don't know why your position changed, but it did. My position hasn't changed. And I can explain why, because I feel like I get better stuff in this environment when there are exclusives. I feel like I get better games. Access journalism is marketing, not journalism and corporations. Hang on, my freaking Chrome thing did the crash thing. Hang on, sorry. I have to reload the whole page and like pop out the chat. I can't see what he's saying. Can we get Mickey Mouse is my dad subscribers today? That's right. I think it's perfectly fair to question someone's integrity when they change their beliefs based on others. But I think you're just going to have a better life and a better conversation if you say, your position changed, why? Instead of saying, your position changed, so I now have a right to question your integrity. It's like, no, I don't have that right. I don't stand in judgment over anybody. All I'm going to say is, this is what I've observed, and I would, I think it'd be an enjoyable conversation to be like, what brought you to this point? What changed your mind? I mean, even Phil Spencer was asked, like, what changed his mind about the industry? What changed his mind about this? Like, why all of a sudden are you talking about these companies as if they're or these people as if they are all part of the Xbox community, right? And Phil Spencer basically said Minecraft changed his mind. Minecraft changed his mind. Okay. I ordered the Derringer for tonight. Nobody likes their integrity's question. People, listen. I'm trying to chart a new path here. I can get passionate, and when you get passionate, you can go too far. I'm trying to chart a new path here. People do that to me. They presume, they'll come in here and they'll leave comments and they presume what I'm doing or why I'm doing it. My integrity and my character gets called into question all the time. Okay. And I don't like that. I don't think anybody likes that, right? And you especially don't have a right to do it when you don't even understand the position, right? Part of the problem with the exchange, it wasn't even an exchange. Part of the problem with what happened is what I said got twisted and it was misunderstood. And it was just like, well, from that point on, it's going to be difficult to have a conversation. And that's on me. That's on me to not go that far. If I would have just made the observation and been like, the people, everybody that got to interview Phil, in the wake of those interviews, they're now saying things that are they feel like new positions to me. They feel like positions that aren't consistent with former positions, and I don't understand that. I think that's fair. That's more of a posture of just observation and questioning instead of observation and accusation. Like, you can make an observation and then question, and I think you're free and clear to do that. But I went too far. I observed, and then I basically passively accused. And I don't think that was fair. And DMing me and scolding me, you're not going to get a response. That's why I didn't reply. I was like, I'm not doing this. This is going to turn bad. I knew it was going to turn bad. I was like, anything I type is going to be gas on a fire, and it's going to be unproductive. So I just opted to be like, I'm not doing this, which then it proceeded into other things. 5 spot from John Always. If exclusives are so bad, shouldn't Xbox let PlayStation put their games on PS Plus? Wait, shouldn't Xbox let PlayStation put their games on PlayStation Plus? I mean, I don't think they would want to do. I don't think PlayStation would want to do that though. PlayStation wants to sell games. Xbox wants to sell games on PlayStation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Your opinions lack consistency that often align with the winds of the corporate steerings. It takes the white glove out and slap. Well, again, I think there are ways to handle yourself in this industry that are... I don't think you have to lace everything with of like some kind of like a veiled insult, right? There's a way to approach this that's more Socratic, right? Like the Socratic method of like you can sort of navigate things with questions only, right? So I could say, is this a fair summary of your position? And they would say yes. Like if I summarize their position accurately, which if you're not going to summarize a person's position accurately, then you're wasting your time. You're shadow boxing and straw manning. So you say, does this accurately summarize your position? And they would say yes. And then the next question should be, what brought you to this conclusion? And then you just don't say anything. It's like, I'm giving you the opportunity to take us on the logical, reasoned journey to the conclusion that you're now putting out there. And then I'm free to say, I don't find that compelling. I think differently, and here's why. Here's how I've arrived at my conclusion, right? Then you let the public decide who made a more compelling argument. Instead of what I did, which was, well, this is what I'm observing. Well, and you did this to maintain your access. What if I'm wrong about that? What if I'm wrong about that? What if one of them did it to maintain access and one of them did it because they were like, no, I actually see the wisdom in this. This makes sense. Do you see? It's like, it's not fair for me to do that. To just present. A lot of people interviewed Phil. And they're all swept up in me saying that. Of like, well, yeah, they're out here to maintain their access. There are definitely people in this industry that do certain things to maintain their access because it's good for their pocketbook. I've talked about, this is one of the big problems with gaming press in general. It's an unhealthy relationship. They need to maintain access with publishers and platforms because it's how they make their money. That's unhealthy from moment one. It's like, well, now you've got conflict of interest immediately. It's just like baked into the crust of the relationship. There's a pattern with several of them. Right. And I think it's fair to observe the pattern and then ask questions. Listen, if we're going to claim and observe that the dialogue in gaming and all of this is in a bad place, I can't elevate it if I'm not modeling something better. Do you see? Like, I can't elevate the conversation and the coverage if I'm not modeling something better. If I'm just like, yeah, well, they said that because they're just trying to maintain their access. And it's like, okay, well, the conversation's over now. Because now I've just basically accused somebody of doing something that's essentially like underhanded and dishonest. And do you think that's not gonna elevate the conversation? That's a conversation ender. That's a conversation ender. That ends the conversation. Now, you make it really difficult. You make it really difficult for somebody who is coming from bad faith or who is just going along with the marketing talking points of Xbox. Let's say that they're doing that. It's going to be really difficult for them to maintain relevancy and trust with the public if you have that kind of a back and forth and you just very gently and very charitably say, I just don't find that to be very compelling. It literally just feels like the position has moved with whatever Xbox says, but what if Xbox is wrong? Are they really an authority on how to flourish in the gaming environment? Do you really think that they know? Like, are they the ones that we should go to? With their track record, you're gonna trust their authority on this? You're not gonna look at Nintendo and PlayStation and think that maybe they know better? Like, why would you trust their authority on this? Get a new super chat goal. We're supposed to be switching, but you guys have got we're on a wavelength that I didn't want to just immediately put an end to. Hang on. Lono trying to be the change he wants to see in other people. It's an extremely mature and thoughtful position. Unfortunately, I don't think he is in an arena where any of that kind of personal introspection is welcomed. All I can do is hold myself to the standards that I believe others should also be holding themselves to. Because then if I say, listen, you're falling below the standard I hold myself to, you're just name calling. You're just labeling me. Okay, you can do that. That's fine. I'm not going to interact with that. But if I'm hitting that same tenor of, like I said yesterday, like if you come in here and you just feel like this is the other side of a toxic coin of like, well, he's just out here calling people buffoons and liars and grifters. Well, then it just sounds like I'm just sounding like I'm the blue side of I'm the blue side of the mudsling at that point. You do it because of who you are, not because of who others are. Right. Like gray rocking the people that get on a toxic wavelength. I'm not doing it in like the hopes that they stop. I'm doing it for myself. It's like I'm doing that for my own mental health. It's a better, healthier place for me to be, and it'll be better for the content to not get bogged down in defending myself against like, something that like a toxic person has said. It's like, well, no, I'm not going to defend myself. That's fine. You can say that if that's what you believe. Okay. And then you just move on. Like, I think in a similar vein, if we're going to try to elevate the discussion and try to get above it's just nonsense. It's like you guys are saying stuff that doesn't make sense. Like, I don't see it. Like, I would absolutely love to have a sit down with somebody who is respectable, not just some random Twitter troll who's like, exclusives are bad. Like, I want to have like a conversation with somebody who's like, yeah, I think this. Okay. I've got so many questions and so many examples of why I don't think the market demonstrates what you're saying, and I'm curious what you think about it. What do you say to all these other instances? Because really what I think it's going to get down to is you're going to have to say you only don't like it when PlayStation does it. And I think the real uniqueness of that is because PlayStation makes and gets deals with killer games and killer publishers, and it upsets people that are not on that side of the fence. They want the games. Whether it's Final Fantasy or God of War, it doesn't really matter. I think the reason that a lot of these guys don't give Nintendo grief, access to the Nintendo Switch was such a low cost, and the games aren't at that level of, oh my gosh, look at that. Like, the guys on PC are not like, oh my, I have to play Tears of the Kingdom right now. Now, some of them do through other means, but you see God of War, you see Final Fantasy, and you're like I want to play that, right? I think the quality of the games is also a part of this equation. That's why they ignore all the AA games and all the indie games that only hit Steam. They're never going to call those games out. Why? Because they don't look like Ragnarok or Final Fantasy 16. That's why. Like, if the games were crap, nobody would care. Nobody would care. Nobody would complain. They wouldn't care. They care when it's an awesome game. Which is kind of proof that it's a good business strategy, right? They're making something that's so good that you want it. It's in demand. That's what they're supposed to do. That's literally what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to make something so amazing that you want it. And it's working. It's working. There are people, I saw posts that were shared on Twitter of people that are so blown away by the Death Stranding 2 trailer that they're buying PlayStations. And they're mad about it. They are mad about it. What do you want to say, man? You going to hate the player? Or you going to hate the game? That's the game. The game is to make something so good that you buy their stuff. That's what they're supposed to do. Speaking of which, we're supposed to be playing Death Stranding. Bet none of them see any of these clips though. I will clip and publish my official retraction, and I'll tag Paris and be like, I went too far. You know, if he decides to say a similar thing of like going too far, that's up to him. That I'm not gonna demand that. You know, I certainly don't think it's great for my brand to have people saying those things, but I'm not going to try to put a stop to it. If you think I'm a tabloid, okay. That's your opinion. What would you think of the government funding for games to get them on multiple platforms, sort of like how we subsidize the arts in general? No. I'm gagging. I don't want the government anywhere near gaming. No. No. I feel like I suddenly have a hairball in my throat. No. Oh. Like, there have been certainly things, there are instances where it's worked. What was it? Witcher 3 was like self-published, and like CD Projekt Red got like a grant from the government or something. I certainly think there are instances where it's probably not been too bad, but the American government would be like, sure, we'll fund your game, but we have something to discuss first. Like, we have such a cabal of corrupt people. No. $200 million. Make the game that you want to make, and by that we mean make the game that we want you to make. No. That's terrifying. That was an industry grant? Yeah, I thought it was a grant from the government. I thought that's how they... am I wrong on that? I thought that was a grant from their government, and that's how they were able to self-publish. That's how they were able to self-publish it. It could be wrong. There we go. Okay. Sound is synced. It was a government grant to grow the industry. Oh, okay. So I do have the facts right. Okay. I remember there were people that were always trying to use that game as an example, and they were like, oh, it's so great, it's so good, why can't more games be like this? It certainly launched with trouble. But I will say this. I will say that the uniqueness of getting that kind of a an influx of cash from the government to build a game and to not have to answer to some publisher, I don't know if you can like overstate how helpful that is. Like the freedom that gave those guys, you know? This is what you get when the government funds your game. Right, we have a good example and a bad example, right? Skull and Bones was still in development because of the Singapore. Yeah, they were like, hey, you better bring that thing to market. We paid for it, right? I work in nonprofit, and we get a lot of money from different governments. The biggest issue isn't corruption. It's the insane amount of paperwork and reporting. That was the other thing I was going to bring up, Jack Garland, is just the inefficiency. The inefficiency of government just cannot be overstated. They're so bad at everything. They're just horrible at everything. It doesn't matter what it is. Anytime you've got to interact with one of their agencies or offices, local or federal, it is horrible. It is everything takes forever. Everything has 8 forms instead of 2. It's like, fill out these 8 pieces of paper, and then when you're done with that, we have a whole other pamphlet for you to fill out. It's like, yeah, you would not want gaming put into that position. I think that would be worrisome. I think having it in an environment where you have either venture capitalists or, angel investors or publishers, funding things, hoping for big returns. I think that's probably the best environment. I do think we are reaching a pivotal point where studios need to shrink down a bit so their cost is not so insane, so that then the publishers could maybe be a little bit more lenient on, the game's going to take 5 or 6 years to come out. I think part of the problem is like a studio is so big and then the publisher has to write such a big check. They're like, we want return on this in 4.5 to 5 years. And it's like, it's got to be closer to 6 nowadays. Like the projects are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, I think one of the ways to protect against this is to have a big studio work on 2 AA sized projects. So if you've got a AAA studio, have them work on 2 AA sized projects. So if one of them doesn't perform as well, your studio's not in like financial duress. And like, what are we going to do? It's like, well, no, that product can also come to the market faster. It could come to the market faster. It's like, well, you could build a AA sized game in 4 years and get quicker return and maybe better return. I think more medium-sized games are going to start performing better. I don't think everybody wants a 50 to 100-hour game anymore. I think there's a very, very ripe market for the 20-hour to 30-hour game. I think that making those is the ticket. It really is. It really is. So, okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we are... The actress who played Nathan Drake's daughter in Uncharted 4 has announced her collaboration with Naughty Dog for an unannounced game. Come on. They said they put their final brushstroke on Uncharted. I don't think that would be for Uncharted. Anyway, here's what we're going to do. You guys went crazy and hit stretch, and you got like a super, super duper long-winded rant out of me, and we're going to be going to Death Stranding gameplay. Now, here's the deal. This is a public stream we're about to go to, and it can certainly help the channel to have a lot of views on gameplay streams. And I know lately gameplay has gotten more support around here, and I greatly appreciate it. Today has been a little wonky. The impression count on this video was bad. I don't know what happened, but I don't think people were getting notified. So hopefully this gameplay stream can perform a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spam a link in chat, and we are going to... I am like 7 or 8 hours into the game, and I'm just going to kind of walk you through... Yeah, this will be a public stream. I'm going to kind of walk you through why this game hooked me. I'm going to try to help people appreciate and maybe just never play it. This could be a helpful stream to like help you never play it. And Norman Reedus is back here cutting up and being a goofball. Okay. Here's what I need to do though. I need to go upstairs and have him upstairs, not here being a goofball forever. Oh wow. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, so this is the stuff that I can't anticipate.
Mankind can go anywhere, even outer space. You'll be out of there in no time. And the second all this is over, I'm going to take you wherever you want to go.
I don't think these are very long. These are typically like just like little interludes. Okay. Perfect. Okay. I didn't want to skip it in case something like something legitimate happened. Yeah, this is where I want to be.
Bridges ID. Verifying
Okay.
ID.
Perfect.
Clear. Weapons detected. All weapons will be locked until departure. All
Okay.
clear. Welcome, Sam Porter Bridges.
All right, guys, do me a favor. Head over to this stream. Use that link in chat. We're going to do this all the way up until I stream Split Fiction with Hilly and try and get a good chunk of the game done. Hang on. Okay. All right, let me put it in the Discord as well.
How you doing, Sam?
I'm doing great, Sam. All right, here we go. Hey, thank you so much for checking out this video. We've been trying to do something here on the channel, and it is sort of checking in on a game that suddenly has increased interest. So there's a stream on the channel right now, Returnal gameplay in 2025. This is going to be Death Stranding gameplay in 2025. The recent Death Stranding 2 trailer has caused this resurgence of interest. Now, I was playing this game in the past. I played for about 4 hours, and he's going to sit down while I talk. That's perfect. And I kind of stalled out and stopped playing. I recently came back, and the game has hooked me, so I was going to try to give you guys some insight into how that happened. So if you have false started with this game, this stream is for you, okay? I'm going to end the previous stream and bring people over. We were having a talk show this morning. We were talking about all the different things going on